Hey, it's Brandon, the host of the Going to Black podcast. I know someone's asked me a little bit about the process in purchasing my first home. Well, I'm getting ready to purchase my second property. I've been doing Airbnb. I started a little bit over a year ago, just renting out one of the rooms in my three-bedroom home. I figured, I live by myself. I don't really want a roommate, but Airbnb allows me the flexibility to earn money and earn more than what I would charge a roommate on a monthly basis. So I did well for like the first 9, 10 months, so well that I was able to pay my mortgage without touching my regular check from my job. So here's what I did. I went and got a second property, but I didn't buy it. I wanted to rent first and see what it would be like having a dedicated space for Airbnb only. So I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 months now, and I just placed an offer on my second home. And this process in purchasing this property, it'll be my third property, but second purchase, has reminded me how difficult it is and stressful it could be to buy a house. So found a property, I liked it, went to go place an offer. But, before that happened, I had to get financing. So I don't have you $150,000 or $200,000 just sitting around in the bank yet. But I needed financing to get another home. So I started with my current mortgage lender. Um, my home has appreciated in value, as many homes have in the Atlanta area. So I went to pull out equity so that I could have money on a down payment. Well, it turns out that purchasing a second property as an investment requires a 20 to 25% down payment. Now, the first property I found was a duplex. They were going to require 25% down. So I was willing to go through that. I was banking on my home appraising at a lot more than it actually did. Appraisals are a whole different conversation, but that upset me a lot. But anyway, got my equity out, placed an offer on this duplex I found. Well, the seller didn't like my offer because I was requesting that the seller pay 3% of closing costs, 3% on the total price, which would have came out to like $7 or $8,000. He didn't want to pay that, so I had to find another property. And I could have accepted his counter offer, but I was stressed for cash because I didn't want to ruin my existing cash flow, and I was only getting so much amount of equity out of my home. Um, and I need to remind myself to do another episode on the refinance process. It's basically signing up for a mortgage all over again. You're restructuring your loan, your mortgage loan. But anyway, um, found another property. Um, Closing costs were going to be a little bit out of my budget because I didn't get as much equity out of my house. And luckily, I had a referral to another lender, and this other lender was actually really great. She helped me explore options. She asked me if I'd be willing to move into this second property that I'm getting ready to buy. And I was like, I really like my house. I'm not trying to sell it or anything, but I like the property enough I can. How long would I have to stay? So she was able to find a lending program that would allow me to purchase a second property for only 3% down payment on the loan plus closing costs. So just 3% instead of the 20 or 25% if I was getting a investment property. So I'm going through the process now. I am waiting and sending in documents to get underwritten for the mortgage. But yeah, I'm going to be moving into a new spot for 6 months, and then I'll Airbnb it full time. Now the catch is my debt to income ratio, because this second property is pretty expensive. It's a lot more than what I paid for my own house. Um, I have to make sure that my debt to income ratio does not exceed 50% by the underwriter standards. Otherwise, they won't give me the loan. So a caveat to that is I need to have additional income, long story short, just to make sure that all of my expenses, all of my debt payments every month are not exceeding the amount of money I'm bringing in. So to get around that, I am renting out a room in my existing home. So I'm not going to be doing Airbnb. I'm just going to find a permanent tenant, and then my mortgage lender is going to accept that lease and rental agreement as additional income. So I'm in the process now of finding a roommate. I found two great candidates from Facebook. One of them lives in Florida, but we were able to do a FaceTime walkthrough, and he liked the space. So I'm probably going to go with the first person. I have someone else coming tomorrow. But this is kind of exciting, but kind of stressful as well, because someone else is going to be in like my personal home. I'm not getting rid of this space, and I am not moving my stuff out because I plan on living here full time. So yeah, that's where I am. I will be doing other updates as I continue through the process. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of waiting for underwriting to happen. And surprisingly, we are on track to close in 21 days versus 30 days, like most mortgage processing. So I think for this house, I think we closed right at 29 days. And I was calling the mortgage lender every day trying to move up closing time because I was ready to move out of this place I lived in that had squirrels in the attic, and the squirrels were making me sick. But yeah, I'm super excited about this new property. I plan on bringing in lots of money with Airbnb. And if Airbnb and that home sharing platform tanks, then guess what? I can find me a good renter to rent the property for a lot of money because the space is in downtown Atlanta. So I've thought all these things through, and the space is already coming with furniture. The seller has agreed to leave everything in the house as it is. And I wanted her to do it that way because when I walked in for the tour, it was apparent to me that she already had the space set up for Airbnb. So I don't have to buy new beds or furniture, or I don't have to decorate. I don't have to buy dishes. Like, everything's ready, all from Jumpstart. And it's included in the cost of my loan. So I'm not having to come out of pocket or use my credit card with higher interest rates to make purchases on furniture, decoration, and painting, and all of those things. So I am super stoked. Tomorrow is my property inspection. So that's an opportunity for me to walk through the property with a trained professional to find defects in the home, cracks, potential water issues, basically anything that would cost me a lot of money in the long run. This inspector is there to help point them out before I sign the closing documents and take ownership of this home. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also check out my podcast, Going to Black. The link is in the description. And yeah, just stay subscribed. I'll be posting more videos as I continue throughout the process. Chat with you soon.